So this video is going to serve as a start to finish tutorial on how to use Command for compliance purposes and how to submit your file for compliance, as well as how to integrate and bring in your files specifically from zip forms or actually any folder on your computer. But I will dive a little bit into how to bring zip forms folders onto your computer as well. So we're going to start in Command. This is, let's start at my home page. I highly recommend adding a favoriting command and just adding it right here at the top. It's so easy to then just click on. You're going to be using this a lot. Keller Williams International has created Command as a platform that they've removed the CRM, the need for a CRM. They have added compliance here. Your marketing is all through here. There's so much that you're going to be able to do with Command. So I certainly recommend that be a favorite. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to add your clients as contacts. If you haven't already done that, do that right away. I have actually already done that, but I am going to edit one of them just to kind of show you how they're showing up. Okay. So I'm going to edit this one, but you would actually be collecting add contact. Now, I'm just going to change this so that it's not in all caps. That would bug me. Okay, so when you add a contact, it's going to ask you the name. If they're buyers, then I probably recommend getting their middle initial and putting that in there as well. And that'll filtrate through. The spouse, we are going to add a relationship. The reason that we are adding a relationship, the way I understand it, is that at a later point when you're marketing to these people, when you're printing mailing labels and so forth, you'll be able to then just print off one for each address instead of both for both spouses, right? So certainly easier to set that up now than to have to edit that later on down the road when you realize you have a bunch of duplicates that aren't set up with their spouses. Okay, it's also great too to track, who you're utilizing. So besides the point. Oh, and I need to, that must have unclicked. What? Sorry. I think I keep clicking removed relationship. So we don't want to do that. And there you go. Okay. So now I'm going to save that. So add both spouses to your contact list. Don't be afraid to do that. And then we're going to go to this little handshake button over here. If you've forgotten what these are, if you click this red toolbar right here, this will pop up to show you what they all are. And this is opportunities. So we are going to then go to the opportunities tab. Now I've actually already created an opportunity for this property address. However, you're going to in order to create one, I'll kind of walk you through it. You're going to create opportunity. Then you're going to designate whether or not it's a listing or a buyer. And this is important, so make sure that you are doing that. And you're going to select your clients. So if they're in your contacts, then they should populate here. If they're not in your contact, then you need to close out and add it. You have to do the contact first, and then you have to do the contact first, and then you can do the opportunity. So when I select my seller, then actually for the co-seller related contacts, since they're connected, they will auto-populate there as well. So that's kind of handy. When you are naming your opportunity, since this is a listing, you already know what the property address is going to be. All opportunities prior to being submitted need to be labeled the property address. And then go court. You don't have to put the city there. And then you need to designate whether or not it is a listing or a buyer. And that actually helps on our MCA office down the line. So I'm not going to go into why, but if you're working with this property as a listing, please designate listing after the property address. If you're working with this as a buyer, please designate buyer. Now, I obviously want to explain that if you are creating an opportunity that is a buyer listing, you may not know the property address up front. So you're going to name it your whatever opportunity name you'd like, probably your buyer's last name. But then once you have the property address, you're going to come back into this opportunity and you're going to edit it and put the property address on there. Then you're going to fill out the rest of these required, whatever you want to fill out here. I'm going to put this as active. And then for commission rate, this is a listing, so I'm actually going to put 3.9%. And then we're going to be in the showing phase. And I'm going to click create. Now I've already created this opportunity, so I'm actually going to close out of that and search for it. Okay, so this is what you're going to see when you have created your opportunity. If you need to edit anything, you can edit via this little pencil on each one of these boxes. Now, for the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to go into documents. Now, this is the compliance tab. As you can see, it's first going to ask you, since you've just created it, what kind of property it is. So click this drop-down menu and select residential or condo, whatever yours is. Mine is residential. Once you've selected this, then a list will be populated. This list serves as what we need for compliance for that specific opportunity. If it's required, it'll say so here where it says required. If it is sometimes required, for instance, the MLS sheet, kind of hard to read here, but it says conditionally required here. Now that is if it's not always required. So for the MLS sheet, it would be required only if the property is listed in the MLS. If it's a for sale by owner, then we aren't going to require an MLS sheet. So it kind of explains each of that, each item here. This is kind of a helpful reminder for you on what is needed in all of your files. So if you look over here on the left-hand side, you can see that the listed folder is highlighted. So this is your listing contract, your condition report, everything prior to getting an accepted offer. Once you have attached all of your files, then this button is going to allow you to then submit to MC. So this is your listing folder. And then here's your under contract folder. And this obviously has a little bit different list, but again, works in the same way. And you also need to separately get this submitted to MC and approved as well. The close file, there's really nothing in that one, just other than, that's where the DA will go. Okay, so how do we attach documents to the command compliance? So if you are in Zip Forms, you will see, let me just go back to my, you're going to see, here's your transactions. So this is your transactions home once you've signed in. And I'm just going to select my new listing up at the top here. And then I'm going to go to documents and I've already created all my documents. The seller's already signed all my documents. They are in here. Now, when they sign documents, it actually creates a separate folder, and that separate folder has the signed versions. The version, so please keep that in mind and remember that when you're working with zip forms, because that is a little different than .loop. That actually will be beneficial for you if you're creating multiple counters. You don't have to retype in the information every time you want to send a new counter offer. You can just revert back to the original copy and edit that instead. So there is some plus sides to how that works. So just pay attention, make sure it says Authentisign on it. If you don't know how to sign through zip forms, you can look at one of my previous videos because that'll show you step by step how to sign it, as well as how to create templates within zip forms and so forth. We're just taking this from when you've already had your documents signed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this download button here at the top. And then I'm going to just select all. And the only one in here that I don't want is the signing certificate. When you sign documents through ZipForm, it creates a signing certificate. I don't need that for compliance or on my computer. It's nice to have within ZipForms, but it doesn't serve any purpose for me within compliance, so I don't need to download it. So once those are selected, then I'm going to select Next. And then it's going to ask me to click to download zip file now. Now, the difference between zip forms and .loop is that when you would select multiple files in .loop, it would combine the documents into one. That is not the way zip forms works, which actually isn't a bad thing. In .loop, we allowed agents to submit files together. And in Command, we're required to have them separated. So it actually works out well that ZipForms doesn't do that for us. So I'm actually going to close out of this because I've already done this, but once you hit click to download zip file now, it will load in a compressed folder on your computer, and I will bring that up. And this was mine. I already went ahead and extracted those, but you're going to select Extract All so that you can utilize the documents. And they're already in here for me to use. Now I'm going to go back into Command. Okay. Now you're going to select Attach Multiple Files. You can upload them one by one. However, I'm going to go back to my listed folder. However, this Attach Multiple Files is a really handy tool because it allows you to select Browse Your Files for the first one. And actually, I don't have an MLS sheet yet. So I'm going to go down to the listing contract. And I've already found my folder for 1077 Coronado. And I'm going to select the residential listing contract in here. Great. Since I've already selected that folder, the next one that I go into, which I'm going to look for the real estate condition report, so I'm going to browse. It saves where I was. So the great thing is it's really easy to continue using, which is why I really like this Attach Multiple Files. Caliber title I have in here as well. My affiliated business. I believe I already have my tax record in here from when I did my market analysis. And my assessor data card. I should have almost everything. Okay, there's no addendum S. It's not required. As you can see, it says conditionally required. My property was built after 1978. And then this is just a Michigan form, so you can ignore that one. So now I'm going to select Attach. And as you can see, it will show that you've uploaded something right here, and it actually says uploaded. Just to, keep an eye on what you have to do yet, just look here and it'll tell you what hasn't been uploaded. You can also search by that status. So if you want to search by it, you just select the status button up here, and then this will only contain the ones that you've not yet uploaded so that it's, a little easier to get at later. So, that's it, really. Once you have all of your files in here, you're going to submit to MC. What that is going to do is, and actually, I'm going to show you what that looks like. I have my MLS sheet. Oh, this isn't the right file. It's not yet active, but I should be able to find it in my listings. There we go. Okay. So I am going to save this. Print. Agent confidential. And I'm just going to select save as PDF. Okay, great. So going back into Command, I'm just going to upload that one file. And it's right here. Okay, easy to bring in. We're going to assign that. Now I have all of my documents in here. Again, the only two that I don't have uploaded are not required. So I'm just going to X out of that, and I'm going to select Submit to MC. And yes, I do. Now, if there's anything that you need us to know right away about your file, so for instance, you just uploaded a cancellation and mutual release, you can add comment here. And if you say at, it brings up all of the people that you can submit a note to. So if you ended up adding a cancellation mutual release, feel free to put the at symbol and then add either Terry Allen or myself to that. And what that's going to do is it's going to send us a notification to my little bell here. And when I go in and review, I'm going to see those things first. Now, only do that if you have an immediate concern or an immediate need. Otherwise, you can add the comment. So say you want to tell me that this is a for sale by owner. And you're going to write your comment in there, and you're just not going to put at Jen Dittman. Okay. So you can still send me a note or a comment. You just don't have to write that at symbol. It's not going to send me a notification, but it's one of those that I'll get to as I'm approving and reviewing loops. So after you've done your listed folder, you're also going to do your under contract folder. You have to submit each separate folder, so please don't forget to submit both of them. You can't just submit the one to MC, you have to submit each one separately, and they will be reviewed separately, so that makes sense. I don't have an offer to purchase here yet, so I'm not going to upload anything there. And that is all. So that's how you're going to get your files approved through Command. I have a class that is going to be this coming Thursday, which will be May 14th. So please feel free to join. We're going to have it at 3 o'clock this Thursday, right after Bold Pivot. So please feel free to join me. Again, that's this Thursday at 3 o'clock. I can answer any questions that you have, help you troubleshoot, or walk you through anything that you might need to know. Thanks, and have a great day.